After 20 years, I don't think I can trust my wife. I started dating my wife 23 years ago. When we met, we were both dating other people. My wife was actually the aggressor. I broke up with the girl I was seeing while my wife two-timed her ex for close to a month. I guess this should have been a red flag, but I was young. A year and a half into our relationship, we were going through a rough patch and I found out my wife, who was still just my GF, was seeing another guy. This lasted less than 2 weeks and I only took her back because she claimed they didn't have sex, something she would deny for 10 years before drunkenly confessing. About 15 years ago, I was certain my wife was messing with another man. She always denied this even though I knew who the suspected other man was. About a year ago, the man my wife cheated with or was seeing or whatever 20 years ago contacted me. Long story short, we go to the same gym and he's always wanted to make sure we were cool. I engaged and said I never had anything against him because he discarded my wife when he found out about me. I also said she denied having sex with him for 10 years. The guy then said they never had sex. When I told my wife about this, she actually acted offended he denied it. However, she went on to claim they had a serious relationship for 2 months and saw each other every day. This absolutely is not true. I questioned my wife about some things, and she just couldn't keep her story straight. Then I remembered the guy from 15 years ago. After a month of questioning, she finally confessed she had sex with that guy as well. She claimed maybe 5 times in her car and that he had a woman and was hooking up with other women as well. However, my wife absolutely refuses to discuss in details or give an explanation. She claims that she doesn't know or doesn't remember whenever I ask her something. It blows my mind to realize she is such an immense liar. I can't get a straight answer out of her. With this new information, I am not questioning every sketchy incident throughout the past 20 years. What can I do? She refuses to address any of this and I am resenting everything about her now. Story 2. My 24M girlfriend, 25F, and I have had a very hard year and I don't think I can look past it. So my girlfriend A and I have been together for roughly 5 years now. For the majority of those 5 years, things were great. Sure, we'd have our ups and downs, but we were happy. However, things have been very different this last year and a half. I had gotten really nasty when it came to how she was treating me, and it put a serious strain on our relationship, to the point where I'd question if I could really keep being with her. Some of the things she's done are saying she doesn't love me in the middle of sex, only to take it back later that same night, has happened several times. Tell me that she finds my body disgusting/repulsive, has happened a few times both during and out of sex. Tell me that she thinks I was just a really long rebound after her ex that she dated for approximately 2 months, has happened twice. Tell me that she doesn't know how she feels about me and our relationship, that maybe she's falling out of love, only to take it back and say that she's afraid of losing me, has happened several times, 10 plus. Tried to convince me that it was my fault that she practically emotionally cheated 3 years ago. Tell me that she finds my friends more attractive than me and had developed crushes on them over time, only to take it back later. Those are only a few of the things that has said done to me over the last year, as going over everything would take way too long. However, those are the ones I think about most often. All of those things have also resulted in us having not been intimate since the start of January. It got to the point where I started losing hair from the stress of it all. We have obviously had a few arguments about all of this stuff, mostly with her telling me it's not her fault, because the pandemic had her stressed out and with me explaining that I can't be her emotional punching bag. After months of trying to get her to try therapy, I finally gave it a shot back in April and has been consistently attending sessions since. Since she started, she's gotten a lot better. There's the occasional "I don't know if I love you" hiccup, but not nearly as often as it used to be. She's very happy with her progress and optimistic about our future. So was I, or at least I thought I was. But as time goes on, I'm just not sure. I try to be supportive and optimistic through it all, as I could see that it was trying her hardest, but I can't seem to truly move past all of the things she's done or said. It feels like they'd created this huge emotional wound that just won't heal, almost like I can see that she's changing, but I can never really forget what she's done. From A's point of view, those were all things that her depression/anxiety made her feel, so it's not her fault. But from my point of view, she was still the one doing it all. It's now at a point where it hasn't seen me nude or even shirtless since June, or she tries to be touchy/cuddly, something she was very against towards the start of the year. I find myself either getting nervous or just wanting to be alone instead. I'm trying my hardest to get past everything and just be with her, but it feels like a losing battle. I really don't know what to do. I love her a lot, so this is all really scary to me. Does anyone have any advice? TL Doctor. Over the last year, my GF has said some nasty things to me, but now that she's getting professional help to keep her emotions under control, I find that I can't look past everything that has already happened. Story 3. My husband wants me to change my name. My 29F husband, 29M, and I have been married for 3.5 years, and I still have my maiden name legally. I stated pretty early on that I wasn't super interested in changing my last name. Then 8 months before we got married, my dad died, and it felt like I was signing away a really important tie to my dad if I gave up the name I shared with him. When it came time to apply for our marriage license, my husband pushed really hard for me to change my name, and eventually I reluctantly agreed to hyphenate. For the first year, I couldn't legally change it because we had booked a cruise and my name had to remain the same as what it had been booked under. After we came home, he brought it up again a few times, and I attempted to express to him why I didn't want to change my name, but he just didn't seem to understand. COVID hit, and it was impossible for me to change my name as most of the government buildings I needed to go to in order to complete my name change were shut down. Now everything is back open, and my SIL just got married and posted about her name change on Facebook, which prompted my husband to start bringing up my name change again. We finally had it out today. I explained that my dad had 3 daughters and my mom has remarried since his death, and I'm officially the last Smith, not my actual last name. Girl left in town, and that knowing that my dad's name is just gone is something that breaks my heart. Not to mention the fact that this has been my name for nearly 30 years, technically longer than my husband has had his name as I'm a month older, and I just don't see why I should have to change mine. He feels that my hyphenating was a fair compromise, but he is very firm that our future children will have his last name only. I expressed that if he wants a true compromise, then we would both be changing our last names to the hyphenated version, and our future children would have that name as well. I like my name. It is recognizable in a positive way in certain circles. It makes me feel close to my father, who I miss like a lost limb. And honestly, I guess I just don't understand why I should have to change it, and why I shouldn't be able to pass it on to my future children, who will be just as much mine as they are my husband's, as in hyphenating their names, not just giving them mine. The resolution today was pretty much my husband acting like I was being a hysterical woman and saying that I can do whatever I want, which I know isn't what he actually means. He just doesn't like conflict dragging out. I hyphenated my name on social media. As soon as we were married, I make reservations under his name and don't correct anyone socially who calls me Mrs. his last name. It's not like I act like we're not married. I don't know if I'm missing something from his side of things. His argument is always just that this is the way he wants it. He's usually so agreeable and isn't super attached to traditional gender roles in any other way, so I just cannot for the life of me figure out why he feels so strongly about this. TLDR, my husband wants me to take his last name, but doesn't have an actual reason, and I don't want to for a variety of reasons. What am I missing from his pavada? I feel like a lot of the comments here are suggesting that I divorce my husband because of this, and I just want to make it very clear that this is the one way my husband has ever leaned into traditional gender roles in our relationship, and while I am frustrated with his lack of reasons for wanting this, it is absolutely not indicative of any other part of our relationship. He is wonderful and thoughtful in nearly every other possible way, and if anything, that's why I'm struggling so hard with understanding his motivations behind this last name thing. He is usually so reasonable that I don't even have a recourse for how to handle this very specific one-off situation.